Has always been about transforming problems through technology. In fact, all of our innovation is centered around the question of how do we use technology to basically make quality products, affordable quality products available to customers across all parts of the country. Right? And I believe technology is really the best option for creating meaningful change in people's lives and in businesses as well. Technology is really a great leveler, I think, and is basically removing inequality in society. So today, somebody sitting in a remote part of India with access to internet has a great selection of products, lakhs of products available to herself, and which is probably the same experience available to somebody sitting in the penthouse in New York. That was not possible 10 years back. Just imagine how our life has changed in just the last 10 years. Now the question is, how can we really use Microsoft AI and ML technologies to drive this experience and a much richer experience for the customer? So let's say, the customer bought in her lifetime first pair of branded shoes from us. She had a wide variety of options to choose from. But in the future, can we actually recommend the right product to this customer based on shopping history, based on this particular order, right? So that's one. I think there are other very interesting applications in other areas as well. So take fashion, for example, right? Fashion in India is a huge market. Right? It's going to be like $100 billion market, and Myntra is at the forefront of innovating on fashion. And at Myntra, we've developed this one brand, very few people know about it, called Muda Rapid. And the brand is run by a product manager and a bunch of engineers. It does not have a brand manager or a bunch of fashion designers. It's only run by a product manager and a bunch of engineers. And it looks at data, trends, what people are looking at, what people are buying, and creates designs based on that. And it's doing really well. It started 2 years back, and it's scaling really well. Now the question is, what is the future of that? Right? How can we take something like that and actually enable the customer to start tweaking designs that are available, right? To make their own designs, to really democratize fashion and make it very personal. Right? So how can we leverage AI at scale to do that? The last example I'll give is on the supply chain side. So we have more than 25,000 people working day in, day out on our supply chain. And they're taking decisions, multiple decisions day in, day out, right, to optimize the entire experience, to optimize speed and cost. Now, how can we enable them with visualization and AI to make better decisions? To not just optimize at the local level, but at the global level. So I think those are some of the areas where I see the partnership really coming together and solving problems in the market and what we need to do in a really meaningful way. So the opportunities are really limitless, and I think it's up to us as a country to really look at what to do and what to make of this. I think as Nandan, you famously said, the world is flat. I believe technology is probably the bulldozer. It is really made it flat.
That's well said. And I mean, the things that if you sort of take the conversation today, what is perhaps most exciting is to think the digital infrastructure that you're building within your stack, the kind of startups, you no longer are just a startup, you're well on your way to being a marquee company that creates this e-commerce infrastructure, which is going to have upstream, downstream implications. We talked about supply chain, we talked about consumers. And then for us to be able to bring our technology that composes with these ambitions, because I think that's really what the future is, because it's not about any one company or any one initiative being able to corner the quote-unquote market. It's more about how can partnerships be formed, public-private, between companies in India and abroad. But ultimately, it has to be about creating that empowerment that Nandan you so well said for the every Indian so that I think that there's real economic
I
progress.
have a question for you guys. So, when I was in Delhi 2001, 2005, we had a course on AI, and nobody wanted to take my course because nothing was happening in AI. So nobody was really interested in it. And if you look at it today, with the advent of huge amounts of data and cloud, cheap compute, right? AI has become real. There are real life applications out there today itself. But what do you think in the next? What does the sort of future look like for AI in the next 5 to 10 years, and how do you see that making a positive change in people's lives?
I mean, I think if I sort of broadly talk about AI, including machine learning, the impact that we are having even in India today, right? I mean, the example I gave about high school dropouts or the affordable eye care, the startups that are all using AI to bring down the costs of delivering healthcare, or crop yield. That's fantastic. You could say, well, that's just statistical machine learning, but that's a powerful, great step of harnessing the power of data. The thing that's been most exciting, I would say, in the last 5 years is this one specialized branch of deep neural networks, fundamentally giving us human perception level AI, right? Whether it's speech, whether it's image recognition. And that's just magical to see. In fact, one of the projects I was just learning about in India was, I believe in Punjab, we took all the call center data for the state of Punjab around the public services and analyze the speech so that the government can get a better handle on what are the issues, what are the workflows that they can actually automate so that they have citizens who are happier with the services. That's an application of AI. But I think the place where we're going, I don't think we should sort of go and claim something like artificial general intelligence as being just around the corner. If anything, I would say we're on the right ladder this time. I don't think we're going to go back to the AI winter, as long as we don't overhype it. And we're all grounded in where we are. We show real applications of it, solve some of the real issues, as you brought up, of any displacement with skilling, especially mid-skill jobs, because they all have to be created. And then as you get greater at this, what is called symbolic grounding. In other words, ultimately, the real challenge is human language understanding. That still doesn't exist. We're not yet even close to it. We have sort of a lot of parlor tricks, but not anything that says we can actually have the ability to write like Rabindranath Tagore anytime soon. So to me, I think we'll just have to keep taking steps on that ladder. But it's an exciting future. But at the same time, we have to be very, very mindful of the impact of AI on jobs. And that's why I think in my case, I want to make sure LinkedIn and LinkedIn Learning and some of the skilling work we're doing even in India is going to help people who have to in some sense change professions or get more mid-skill jobs have the ability to do that.
No, I think I'm excited because when you think about the challenge of taking a country which is $2,000 per capita to $20,000 per capita, then it's really a major transformation. And you really have to fix basic things like health, education, and financial services. And the classical way of doing that, I've been saying, let's have more doctors, let's have more hospitals, let's have more whatever. And that's not possible, or certainly not possible in the time frame that we have. Like, if we have to get everyone educated, you can't, I mean, if you take 25 years to do it, there's always adults, so you can't, so there's a time thing. And the only way to sort of square this circle is by using AI and the cloud to deliver personalized health to a billion people, personalized education to a billion people, or personalized financial services to a billion people. And that will drive the economic thing. So I think that to me is a huge power. Because for a country which has such a low per capita income, using this as a very strategic tool to raise and in an equal fashion by giving every one of those people access to the same thing. That's very important. And I think to your point on the skilling, I think the big issue in this next few decades is going to be the whole issue of lifelong learning. Because I don't think we can predict what is it that I need to know 5-10 years from now. However, if I'm learnable, I can learn, and if I have access to that learning outcomes in on time, on demand, then at least if I have the motivation, I can move forward. And in fact, one of the things that I'm working on now is called 8-Step, which is looking at, it's a non-profit, it's a philanthropic thing. How do we get 200 million children to learn using AI, smartphones, and machine learning, and give them learning outcomes on the phone, so that a child in the village has the same, just like this shopper has the same stuff, you want a child in the village to have the same access to learning material as somebody in the city. So I think to me the fascinating thing is how do we use all this stuff that we gather build to flip it around for these benefits. And I think that's very important because if we don't do that, I think the backlash, as we are seeing in the US, is going to be quite a lot.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Nandan and Vinny, for joining me. It's a fascinating conversation. It's such a